Well, good morning. Happy Moon Day. This is Claudia of Moon Powered Astrology. And I blew dry my hair back because it is so hot here in the desert of Southern California. And I try to keep the air conditioning off so that you can hear me better. At any rate, what a week we've got ahead. Yeah, we're in the balsamic phase of the moon. So I hope you had a relaxing, regenerative weekend. And, as we begin the week, we kind of, as Lawrence Ferlinghetti once said, we head off with all the speed of a herd of turtles. And we are building or winding down to get ready for a new moon on Wednesday. And what a new moon it is. So this is a week where we expect the unexpected. So it's good to start with a heart drop, right? All right. So put your feet on the floor, palms up in your lap, ready to receive the vibrations of the universe. Let all that love flow in and begin to be aware of your breath as it comes and goes. Where is it in your body? Is your belly moving as you breathe? You might put your hand down there if it's not. Deep breaths. To live fully, you've got to breathe fully. Hello, Maura. Good morning. Thanks for checking in. And if you are here live, please do check in as you are taking those beautiful, deep, rich, delicious breaths, welcoming the prana, the life force from source, into every one of those trillions of cells in your body. Inhale all the way to the top of your crown and exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Make your exhalation a little longer than your inhalation. Your parasympathetic nervous system loves that. And out. And on the next breath, as you breathe in all the way to the crown, white light pours down through your crown, filling every cell of your body, all the way to your fingertips and your toes, with beautiful white purifying light, cleansing away any negativity, any overthinkity think, anything that keeps you from being in this present moment with me. Feeling your feet helps with that a lot too. Breathe in. And on the next breath, as that white light pours down, allow your consciousness to move from your head orientation down behind your facial mask, passing by your chin, through your throat, down through your chest, coming to rest in your heart. And you can put the tips of your fingers on your heart chakra there. And that can help you drop immediately into that heart-centered awareness. And now, on the next inhalation, breathe in beautiful rosy pink rays of light. Envision every chamber of your heart filling with this rosy pink light of self-love. Belly still moving. Breathing fully. And now an emerald green ray comes to join that rosy ray. The emerald green ray of all healing. Healing the heart, opening it to love again. And love more. See, feel those rays expanding to fill the trillions of cells in your body, moving out through your skin, filling your auric field, moving out into your environment, filling every parsec of your existence, filled with massive self-love, your own personal love revolution. Bask for another few seconds in that delicious breath and these beautiful rays of self-love. Feel yourself smiling at how magnificent you realize you are. And open your eyes and come back to be with me. Well, this is a week to expect the unexpected, indeed, yes. And we're going to be talking about that. Mercury is in shadow. as it gets ready to retrograde on the 23rd of August, and it is in a sign that it rules. So you may find that the trickster aspect is very much alive in your life. I know people seem to have been having tech problems all summer, but you might find that they're ramped up. If there's something you need to take care of with your car, do so. And all the things that have to do with Mercury retrograde can be intensified, but also organization, attention to detail, things like that, that Virgo will be calling your attention to, as well as your physical health. Mercury rules the nervous system. So it reminds you that part of your physical health, the basis for your physical health, is your nervous system health. And as well as Mercury being opposite Saturn as it moves backwards in Pisces. And that is where, we're reminded also about to take care of our immune system, our inner ocean, to move and get our lymphatic system going. I find it's really wonderful just to put on some music and dance every day. So we're going to be setting intentions a little later, in a few minutes. We'll go through the intention setting process. You won't be setting them until Wednesday or, Tuesday when you go to bed. The new moon will be at 2:37 a.m. on Wednesday morning. But as we begin the week, the moon is at 3 degrees of Leo. So it's getting ready. It's revving up for that new moon on Wednesday, when the sun and the moon will both conjoin in Leo to create a new moon, a new cycle, an extremely creative cycle. Leo has to do with self-expression. So creatively expressing yourself, and with the square to Uranus in unique, new, and different ways. Yes, radical departures are ahead with this new moon. So as we begin to move through the week, we find that today we may be more aware of what others are feeling, because Chiron, the higher moon, the wounded healer, and our greatest gift, is in harmonious aspect, a trine to Venus. So if you're empathic today, just be aware. You might be even more aware of what others are feeling, and even if you're not. So there are a lot of opportunities for healing this week, and I'm going to be talking more about that too. So that's a double-edged sword bonus of this particular time. So your relationships may benefit from some loving attention today. And just remember, we're in the balsamic phase of the moon, so nothing's starting yet, even though in the in the Roman calendar that we espouse, or the Greek calendar, whichever way you want to look at it, we use 7 planets for the 7 inner planets for the 7 days of the week. But the overriding rhythms are the lunar rhythms. And so we are starting the week off in more of a laid back mode, because light equals energy. And during the balsamic phase, we are entering the depth of the dark, where the moon is not visible. It is not beaming any light to the earth. And we have about 2.5 to 2 days, to 3 days when the new moon happens, so that we have the dark of the moon from the balsamic through the new, until we see that beautiful silvery sliver of promise just about a night after the new moon. So on Tuesday, we're going to have the moon square Jupiter, and that happens really early, but it reminds us to beware of making our expectations too high. So that's the thing to just watch out for. Overindulgence. Jupiter tends sometimes to make us feel that bigger is better. And it can be, but it can also lead to overindulgence and unrealistic expectations. On Wednesday at 2:03 a.m., the moon exactly squares Uranus as it moves toward being new at that exact conjoining of the sun and the moon at 2:37 a.m. That will be at 23 degrees of Leo. 23 degrees, and we have very tight aspects. All the aspects that I'm going to be talking about are very tight, 23 degrees. And when you add that together, you get a 5. 5 is change. Odd numbers are change, but 5 particularly indicates change. It indicates crossroads. It indicates a time when you're standing at the fulcrum or the midpoint of the seesaw, and you have to decide, which way am I going to go? Where am I applying my strength, my energy? And this new moon energizes a move in a new direction, and even without a detailed map to guide you. And that's something that Mercury retrograde in Virgo until mid-September, can help you with the details. But you're kind of being asked to take that leap, to move in that new direction without having that detailed map. And then at 4:14 p.m. on the day of the new moon, the moon moves into Virgo. And then it asks you to check your compass, at least check your compass and see if you're on track, if you're moving in the right direction. So Thursday, the moon is opposite Saturn. And so that happens early in the morning, Pacific time, 1:27 a.m. So you could wake in kind of a bad mood on Thursday. But, blame it on the moon. A lot of times you can blame things on the moon, right? And this lifts late, really late, like after 10 p.m. Pacific time, Jupiter comes to trine the moon. And that actually happens at 10:47 p.m. that night. So work your stuff, drop into your heart. Know that if you're in a bad mood, it will pass. And do some movement, get the water moving that relates to the moon so that you can allay some of that bad energy if you find that that's happening to you. On Friday encourages courageous action. So be sure to set those powerful intentions on Wednesday. You'll move through Thursday. You'll have that Jupiter trine. You'll still be feeling that when you wake up on Friday morning, and that will encourage courageous action and courage. Courage. Coeur is heart in French. And so courageous action, heart-centered action is absolutely part of this Leo new moon. And on Friday, the moon trines Uranus. Be squaring it at the time of the new moon. I'll be talking more about that in a minute. But the moon is trine, which is positive, Uranus on Friday. And that emphasizes or underscores your desire to find your own drumbeat, to march to your own drumbeat. And on Saturday at 4:53 a.m., the moon moves into Libra. And this emphasizes relationships of all kinds, and social connections become a priority this weekend. So that's kind of lovely, and you can kind of plan ahead for that. And Leo's very social as well. So the Leo sun also trines the North Node in Aries, and this helps set you in forward motion because we're going to have quite an effect with this Uranus conjunction. This Uranus square. So with the new moon in Leo, this new moon is ruled by the sun. And the sun is in its dignity, it's called, in Leo. So vitality, how are you going to shine in the world? How are you going to shine your light? Are you committed to stepping out and shining, sharing that light with others? What prevents you from doing that? Time to heal that, right? Not that you have to get on a stage necessarily or be an orator, as sometimes those who have more pure Leo energy would wish to do. But that Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, really asks you, because Virgo can be a wallflower. It can be a shy sign. And Mercury internalizes the energy of communication. So that plus some emphasis from Chiron reminds you to look at what needs to heal, what needs to be released, that keeps you feeling you're not worthy or not good enough to step out and share your unique gifts with the world in your unique, new, and different way. There are opportunities to heal the yin and yang balance, and also ancestral healing will be available. Ancestral healing and clearing. So you might want to call on some spiritual and emotional practitioners and healers to help you with that. Also, Black Lilith is conjunct this new moon. So there will be a dawning of some kind of awareness, perhaps regarding an area of trauma from way back. And it might be past lives. So, if you know a good soul clearing coach, past life regression, those kind of things could be in order at this time. You might be going through health issues that just kind of seem to come out of nowhere. I know I've been having bouts of inflammation that I've mentioned to you, and they're related to my intestines, and that's elimination. So it's as though it's the final hurrah of the things that came up with the South Node in Scorpio. The nodes have now moved, so any residue really is anxious to move on out too. And I'm very aware that this is ancestral and parental cleansing of different issues, as well as emotional issues that can create toxicity in my own body, things that have not been expressed. You know, I was taught as a little girl that, girls don't get angry. Well, so finding creative, positive ways to release that energy of anger, and let go of the past and just bring it up into awareness. That's the challenging part, isn't it? But the sun can help you shine light on all of these things as it trines positive. Trine equals positive, constructive, as it trines Chiron in Aries. And also, this new moon is conjunct Venus. And so that can be associated with money. Venus is receptive, how we attract what we need. It has to do with the things that bring us pleasure, but it also has to do with our finances, because Venus has one of the houses that it rules, since it's a ruler of Taurus and Libra, is the second house. And the second house is what we need to be who we are. So Venus puts us in touch with that. So you might find that a new chapter is opening, because this new moon tells you to expect the unexpected as it squares Uranus in Taurus. So a new chapter may open in monetary affairs with an emphasis on improvement. And you might find that you're finally able to take steps forward with a plan regarding your debts or investments to alleviate future problems. When we think of Uranus, we think of the future. It rules Aquarius. And Aquarius with Uranus are the futurists of the zodiac. So planning ahead. And squares ask you to do that, especially fixed signs. This is a fixed sign square. So building over time. You've heard me say that before. Building over time. Confidence is high this week, and especially under this new moon. Energy is more creative during this cycle, and you may take steps into an area where you have no experience and come up smelling like a rose. Just remember that. As it may be a bit messy on the way. Uranus is also the god of chaos. So you might expect a little chaos this week, or you might experience it in other people. One of the challenges with Leo is drama, unnecessary drama, just for the sake of drama, or being a drama junkie. You know, if you're someone who just has to have drama in their lives, who just can't foster internal peace, this is a really good time, especially as we move toward the weekend, when Moon moves into Libra, and we are asked to cultivate peace and beauty in our lives. So that's something for you to remember, as this week may be somewhat of a roller coaster with disorder and unpredictability. And we go, however, from revolution to evolution. That's what we're asked to do this week. Because this is occurring in fixed signs, the sun and the moon at 23 degrees of Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. This reminds us that tells us that we may have little say in the matter. The changes that occur, we may have little choice. And that's one of the things that this square and the fixed energy of it tells us. Uranus is an outer or modern planet. It was the first one of the three, Neptune and Pluto being the other two. So every 100 years, approximately, we had in the 1600s, in the 1700s, Uranus was discovered. In the 1800s, Neptune, and in the 1900s, the 20th century, in other words, Pluto was discovered, the collective unconscious. And you may find that you're involved in more general community, societal situations. And also, this supports linking with like-minded people, more people on your wavelength coming into your life. And this is something that can be really good to support with your new moon intentions. Uranus is associated with the Fool in Tarot, and that is a 0 degree, a 0. The Fool is a 0. And it also relates to the number 22, which is a master number, which breaks down to a 4, structures and building. So you're going to be building something new. Just want to take a look at this. So this square can bring reversals, can bring a turnaround. It can bring reversals of fortune, one way or the other. If you've been down, big breakthrough, taking you up. It may go the other way around, so that you will find creative solutions, so that you will step out of your old box. Uranus demands that you take a radical step forward and that you think and act out of the old box. So a new beginning occurs, and it may occur through upsets or a turn of events. Something you've known about but hasn't broken through yet may occur with the ignition of this new moon. And then the planets quickly pivot as we have Mars trine Uranus, also at 23 degrees. So a square is a hard angle. It forces us into change, but it's also very challenging and can be very difficult because fixed energy is fixed. So it's asking something is being let go, so to speak. And it may be being let go for you with events that seem beyond your control. With Mars trining Uranus, that's a positive, constructive aspect. So it's like we have this upsetting of the apple cart, and then we turn in a new positive, constructive direction. Squares are combative, and they can be angry, or they can create struggles. So disaster is averted due to this trine that we have coming. And it tells us that the energy will move in a positive direction. Whatever we experience that's upsetting, or that's a surprise or a shock, or like an earthquake in our lives, then turns very quickly into constructive, positive energy. So be aware of that. And if you can avoid being reactive as opposed to proactive, that would be a really good thing, you know, knowing that really supported, you are really supported by the cosmos this week with this new moon. So we will have more benevolent revelations rather than revolution. That's going to be the upshot of these energies this week. And Uranus is going to support Mars in what comes next. And because Mars is in Virgo, that's where the trine comes from. This could involve labor disputes, unions, workers, anything having to do, because Virgo has to do with our daily life and our work as love made visible. So you might find that the rug feels like it's pulled out from under you, but then it shifts positively, and you move into, by Friday, you move into it. I can do this mode. So you might even start, remember that through your whole week. And as catastrophe is averted, and things may turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Leo rules the heart, rules the upper back and spine. So these are your health checks for this month when you make your health intention. And remember the heart drop. Leo is famous for being heart-centered. Ask yourself what makes your heart sing. How do you want to step out and shine? How do you light your own path with your own programs regarding health and relationships and positive, constructive thinking? I know I've realized more and more as I move about in the world that there are two very broad categories of people. One is the category, the group that knows that they are creators and creates their own, and that they create their own reality. The other, thinks that reality creates them, that reality is some external construct. And the more that you realize and embrace the fact that you are a creator with every word, thought, and action, the more miracles and magic you will see in your life. And that also speaks to attracting people who are on your wavelength. If you are someone who knows you're a creator, knows that you create your reality, be sure you're walking that. Do the heart drop. Be a heart-centered being. Let it flow through your work and your creativity. Leo is fire, it's fixed fire, and it is passionate. It loves romance. It has to do with the adolescent child. So some of your healing may have to do with your adolescence. Be willing to take a look at that. Leo also has to do with humor, laughter. You know, Bernie Siegel wrote a book years ago called Love, Medicine, and Miracles. And he had his own personal healing experience and found that laughter had incredible healing power. And that's something for you to remember throughout this cycle and always. The healing power, the message it sends to the cells of your body when you laugh genuinely and authentically. So find things that make you laugh. Lighten up. After all, the cycle's ruled by the sun. Leo is also the charismatic leader. So it's willing to step out and allow your unique light. Uranus has to do with uniqueness, doing things in a unique way, allowing your unique brilliance and genius to shine, and what that means for you. It doesn't have to be, as I said, on a world stage. It can be quiet. But how do you do that in your daily life? How do you allow the sun to shine? One of the things is to be willing. The sun has to do with the solar plexus. That's another area as far as health goes. And I want you to also just be aware, with Neptune still in Pisces and Saturn there, drugs and substances can tend to fragment your solar plexus, and it makes it hard for you to harness your will in the service of your intentions. And you really want to do that this week and always. In relationships, you might crave a little more romance, create a little more romance in your intimate relationships, or just, in your own life. I bought an orchid the other day, and it makes me smile every time I look at it. Bring yourself flowers. Take yourself to dinner, or a friend, and, cultivate what romance means to you in your life. And how do you express your creativity? Leo is fairly unstoppable when it comes to expressing itself. That energy is determined to express itself. It also craves applause and appreciation. So cultivate your ability to appreciate yourself and others and your life throughout this cycle. It's a great intention, right? Yeah. In business, I mentioned the square. I mentioned making a financial plan, or looking at, how you're going to handle anything that's been bugging you financially. And with Saturn there, with Venus there, it also reminds you to cultivate beauty. Cultivate beauty during this cycle. And when we think of stepping out and shining, it's like, what are you going to do with your appearance? It's summertime. You're going to put a little gold and silver in your eyeshadow, or a touch of it on your lips. You can change your makeup, do a new hairdo, get some highlights, have beauty around you in your atmosphere. Appreciate the trees, the flowers, the earth beneath your feet. Uranus is in Taurus, so that's one way to make peace with that square. Ground yourself. Uranus rules electricity, and you are an electromagnetic being. So be sure to ground yourself every time you think about it. If you can put your bare feet on the earth, that's just the best. And really feel that energy, the energy of your connection to the earth coming up through your whole body, grounding that electromagnetic being that you are. So when it comes to ritual, to setting your intentions, bring your wish forward. Now, I don't know if you remember, but the full moon was an aspect square Jupiter. So if one of your intentions was to take it bigger, to think big, to ground your big vision, it was an Aquarius full moon, the visionary, to ground your vision, then this is time to bring that wish into the intentions that you set. And an example of a wish, for me, it had to do with what it meant to take it bigger and do it differently, radically differently, and to step out and shine with my message. So those things form my wish, because that took in the Jupiter in Taurus, taking it bigger, the doing it differently, letting my unique gifts and talents come out. That's Aquarius, walking my vision and stepping out and shining with my message. So that was a combination of that T-square. So your intentions, bring that wish forward and look at how you are going to do it differently. You may be forced to do it differently this week with this Uranus emphasis, because Uranus upsets apple carts, and it is futile to try to put those apples back in the same cart. It's like they're rolling either down or up the hill. So you've got to find a new container out of the old box, right? Yeah. So as you set your intentions, the things that have to do with your intentions, thoughts, feelings, and actions, those are the three basic underpinnings. So we're really good at thinking, really good at taking action most of the time, but feelings are where the Western world kind of gets bogged down. And that's why the moon is such a beautiful guide, because it has to do with feelings and the power of feelization. So if you want to set up an altar, set that up, sit down in front of it, open your journal, and write your intentions. And then move into a peaceful space, close your eyes, do the heart drop, and visualize. Get a really good picture of your intention, one intention at a time. You only want to do 3 or 4 so that you can keep up with your feelization and really be focalized in your feelization throughout the cycle, because that will fast track your intentions. And you might even make an intention for how you are going to stay calm and be excited about all of these changes, and know that if there is a challenge, the solution is already in place. It's just part of your adventure to move toward it, to unearth it, to have it revealed. So you are in your heart and you are visualizing what it looks like to have that intention manifest right now. Living Technicolor. The smells, the sounds, the tastes, what you hear, everything. And then you step into what you visualize. You step into that picture and you feel what it feels like to be in that environment of your intention manifested. We had the Lionsgate portal of manifestation. If you had an experience with that, if it was something that you really honored and looked at or had an experience, let me know that. I love to hear your comments on things like that. This was a particularly powerful Lionsgate portal I found. So now you're in the next step with your intentions. And as you feel what it feels like, you might feel relief, you might feel excitement, whatever it is, joy. Allow those feelings to really, really expand. Really allow that frequency of feeling to rise to its highest, best, most joyful manifestation. Notice any messages that come through. And then open your eyes, write your messages down, and move to your next intention. Do the visualization, do the feelization, and then write any messages that come through. Then gratitude. Gratitude is the fertile soil in which all intentions are planted. And appreciation is a big word for Leo. So just moving into appreciation at any moment that you're really, really challenged, if you can do that, then you'll find that a lot of anxiety, your shoulders will move away from your ears, and you'll find that your anxiety is alleviated. If you just move into appreciation for yourself. Oftentimes, Leo looks outward for applause and appreciation from the world. It's one of the reasons that it loves being on stage. But applaud yourself, applaud your accomplishments, appreciate yourself and your life. Goes a long way toward the confidence that is so available to you with the energy of Leo. Bold, confident, courageous action is what you're going to be asked to take during this cycle. So write your gratitude so that you create fertile soil for your intentions. And then put 3 action steps underneath each intention. Yeah. And commit to a date to begin. At the time of a new moon, the moon rises at sunrise, and the moon is in front of the sun at this time, so we don't see the new moon originally, and then it begins to move away from the sun, and we start to see that silvery sliver, and then it builds through the other phases of the cycle. But at that time, you plant the seed of your intentions deep in your consciousness, in the unconscious, because the light cannot be seen yet. You are the light. And that is really underscored when we come to this Leo cycle. The work that you did with family and home moves into a new realm, ready to party, ready to, get your home in order so that you could have a party if you wanted to. And the home within, so that you're ready, to have your heart, have a party, rather than be so heavy, so intense in these times. You are the light of the world. There is no doubt about that. You are a charismatic being, able to attract, especially with Venus right there, able to attract what you need. The moon has to do with what you need and what you want, and the sun has to do with what you want. Support your vitality in any way that you can. Be sure that you bless your food, for instance. The moon has to do with how you feed yourself. And when you do your action steps, be willing, to commit to calendaring when you're going to begin each of the 3 action steps that you're going to put under each intention, so that you have committed to the energy. And then it's really good to declare your intentions out loud. Sound creates light, and light densified becomes manifestation in the material in the world. The sun represents spirit. So your spiritual connection, really knowing that your heart is your connection to the cosmos, and that spirit, having a human experience, is the truth of your being. So I would be very curious to hear how you are going to step out and shine. How are you going to use this Leo cycle and the upsets and breakthroughs that are there for you in every area of your life at the time of this new moon? Because we have the trines coming with this new moon, we know that there is upsets and then solutions, that we have constructive, positive movement going on as a result of this new moon. I want you to remember that. Remember that you are the light. Shine the light on your own path. Be in your heart. Love yourself. Love without limits. Love, 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 love yourself. It's beautiful to have the sun and moon and Venus together in Leo. So I love hearing from you. I wonder how you're all doing now that the nodes have shifted into Libra and Aries. Do you find that there's more of an emphasis on relationships in your life? Are there relationships that are leaving your life? Are there new relationships forming? It's very likely to happen this month during this cycle. If you'd like a reading, it's a great time to tap into the shifts and changes that have happened, what all the retrograde mean for you, the eclipses coming up, how you can use the energy so you can really rock the energies and the rhythms of the cosmos that exist within you. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful week, a glorious new moon. Take the time. It's going to be, it will have happened by the time you wake up on Wednesday morning. So take some time. Each phase lasts 3.5 days. So the full moon will go from Wednesday until Sunday, when the moon moves into the crescent phase. So this is a week of new beginnings. We're in the balsamic phase, as I mentioned, so it's time of endings and composting and regenerating to get ready as we expect the unexpected and move from revolution to evolution this week. And as you know now and always, I love you so much. How much? To the moon and way beyond. Mom? Hi, thank you. It's about quarter of 11.